to the channel. Today I was going to talk about the GoPro 7 White. I've literally just bought one, and I was about to say how some of the reviews you see on YouTube are unfair and unfounded, and it is actually a really good camera. And I was out tonight, I was doing a video about it, and first time I've ever used it. Must have been about an hour in using it, and I'm going to have to redo the video. The reason I'm going to have to redo the video is because this happened. Seems the GoPro's having a bit of a moment. Can't turn it off, and it won't stop. So I'm going to have to redo the video. I'm going to have to get a new GoPro, and I'm going to have to try all over again. In fact, that beeping went on for so long. The battery didn't run out for about 3 hours, so when I got home I had to put the camera out in the garden because that constant beeping was upsetting everyone in the house. I wasn't the most popular, and trying to get hold of GoPro to talk about it is not easy. So I don't know. I'm going to speak to Argos in the morning, and I'm going to try and get a new one. And hopefully I'll be back later on with another update, and we can actually talk about the camera in detail and maybe what went wrong. I mean, this is one of the downsides to the Hero 7 White not being able to remove a battery, because, you know, I held my finger down on the power button for ages. It wouldn't power off. Pressing the shutter button wouldn't stop it. I couldn't stop it through the app. I uninstalled the app thinking maybe it was a issue with the communication between the GoPro and the app. No, it just wouldn't stop. So yeah, it's in the garden. It ran out of battery about 20 minutes ago, so I'll bring it in, box it back up, see if I can get it returned, and yeah, we'll try that video again. And hopefully what follows now will be that video. So let's get on with it. Right then guys, so we're going to try this again. I've been up to Argos. They're a bit funny about exchanging the faulty GoPro. As I say, I ended up having to leave it outside last night until it ran out of battery. A major design fault, not being able to remove the battery, and obviously, as you saw last night, it was had a mind of its own. So I've ended up buying another one. The reason I bought another one is because I wanted to give it a fair test. I wasn't going to let last night, you know, dictate, you know, how good the camera, how bad the camera was. However, it wasn't a very good start, was it? And in fairness, this new one is a bit clunky as well. So here I was about to do a video on, you know, how the other reviews are wrong and the camera's really good, and you know. So what I've seen so far, I mean, the audio quality, even from a selfie stick, you know, with no external mics, is pretty good. I'm not shouting. You got the sound of the gravel under my feet, and you can still hear me quite clearly. So audio's pretty good. But then, I mean, I'm one of these guys, I love time-lapse videos, and it's really annoying you cannot change the duration of the time-lapse, and for me that's, yeah, it's not good. I think the only time-lapse intervals you can set with this particular 7 White is 0.5 seconds, so half a second, which just makes your time lapses look really quick and clunky, and it's just not good at all. So that's a big no for me. Obviously the construction seems good. I do agree with some reviews on it, about the the lens cover not being replaceable, because obviously if that breaks, then basically you've got a throwaway camera, you've got to bin it, and you can't just switch over the lens cover. But I also think some of these bad reviews are based on the user and not so much the camera. A lot of the reviews you'll see on the 7 White, it's a bloke sat in his office with his mahogany sides, his iMacs all over the place, and his £20,000 professional camera equipment behind him. That to me isn't a fair review, because he is not the targeted user of the GoPro 7 White. It's a basic user like myself who doesn't need it to do the latest Marvel movie. I don't need to have that quality. And there's a lot of people there, they've got it wrong. You can change the settings and you can record in 1080 with this particular camera, the GoPro 7 White, and they're obviously saying it's not as good as 4K. Well, there we go. Yeah, it's not as good as 4K because it's not 4K. It's very much like me having 3 Ferraris sat on the drive, test driving a Ford Fiesta and saying it's a bad car because it doesn't do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. So I think when you come to do or pick a camera and you're looking at YouTube reviews to pick the perfect camera, I think you've got to take some reviews with a pinch of salt. Look at the person doing the review and look at their background, because this GoPro 7 White is not marketed as a 4K super GoPro. It is an entry-level budget camera, and some people are saying, well, £200 or just under £200 isn't budget. Well, for me, I'd rather spend £200 and have a tank run it over and destroy it than have a £500–600 all singing all dancing GoPro get ruined. So again, it comes down to your uses, it comes down to what you're comfortable with. I mean, I've got several of them cheap Chinese knockoff things that you get on eBay for 20 or 30 quid, and they perform a function, but I find the playback's a bit clunky on them, and they're never going to be as good as a GoPro. But saying that, there are other brands that do give GoPro a good run for their money. So I think it's all about what you want. I mean, I like the GoPro brand. My confidence with them is a bit knocked now because of last night's incident with the GoPro. But these things happen, and not everyone's perfect, as we know. So what I'm doing now is, obviously I'm talking to you, I'm walking around just to get a feel for the image stability. I've already looked at some playback, and the mic is pretty good, and the audio quality is pretty good. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a quick demo of the time-lapse and show you a bit about the time-lapse. So the next frames you see will be the camera set up for a time-lapse. I'll leave it running for 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll do some underwater tests, as well as some other things, looking at the features and the main menu. So let's get on with this walk, because I massively misjudged the weather today. When I left it was raining. Now I'm out here, sun's out, and I'm way too hot, and definitely need to carry on with my fitness program because I'm out of breath. So let's see some other features in the GoPro, put it to the test, and then we can sort of summarise at the end, and I'll tell you my thoughts. Let's get to it. Right, so that's the time lapse. They come out slightly better if you're doing a non-moving position. So if you're, for instance, when I've done time lapses with the previous 7 white, it was in a car, and I think the speed of the car moving, as well as the short duration of the shots it takes, it makes it really, really unstable and clunky. Whereas if you're doing a landscape like we just done there, it does smooth out slightly. So I mean, I would still like that ability to be able to change the duration. A standard time lapse for me is anywhere between 10 and 30 seconds, so it's I don't think it's very good that you can't change it, but after seeing a landscape one, yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't say it's a great time lapse. You know, the cloud is moving, you can see it moving, but it's just not moving as, vigorously as I'd like. I think a more defined time lapse would be at 10 or 15 seconds, so having that ability would be nice. So let's see how it performs underwater now, see what the visibility is like, and yeah, go from there. When it comes to underwater testing, I want to do it in 2 different bodies of water. Obviously the GoPro 7 white is meant to have a fairly good low light capability. It doesn't say anything about low water clarity or anything, but you can see this river behind me. It's pretty brown. We've had a lot of rain the last few days, so lots of mud and sediment floating around in it. So I want to try the GoPro 7 white both in this river and the crystal clear lake, just to get an idea of different conditions and how it takes on both really. So let's do that now. I'll start off with the dirty water, and then you'll see the difference when we get to the clean. And there we go. Not the best, but you can see just down the bottom here it is recording in 1080, and you can click on that. You can change it to 1440 as well. So here it says video resolution 1080, perfect for full screen playback on your TV. Click on 1440 and it changes to 1440. Mine's always set to 1080. I think that's what most people would want. And I say the preferences are just accessed. If you want to get to your menu, swipe down, click preferences, and it brings up all your menus, and you just come out of that. And again, to get a preview of your footage, swipe up and you get your previews, which you can swipe through. So I mean, all in all, it's quite a user-friendly and smooth camera. I'm really excited about it. I think it's great, and I think maybe I'll treat myself to a either a 7 silver or a 7 black, just to see what differences there are. I know there's not a great deal between the white and the silver, but it'd be quite good to jump up to that black and maybe see what the differences are. But I think I'd be wrong to do that, because I'm not going to use the features and all the settings that you need to get the best out of that camera. Whereas that one, the 7 white, for me, it's a budget entry level GoPro. I've got the brand, I've got the reliability, I've got the warranties, and I'm just going to use it for point and shoot, and that is the actual, my criticisms of this camera aren't massive. One is the time lapse that you can't change too much, and the second is the quick shoot. So I'm going to push record, there's a plane flying over, I really want to get it, but it's gone. By the time it started recording, which it's just started doing now, it's gone. So it's not as quick to start up as the sessions. The sessions are fairly quick, still not massively quick, but that takes a while to warm up and then start recording. So if you're trying to get, there's a train coming, a steam train, bang, shoot, it's gone before it started recording properly. So that's my only other criticism of this. I'm going to keep using it, I'm going to keep doing videos for the channel with it, so it gives you an idea of how I'm getting on with it, and maybe we'll look back at it in 2 or 3 months time when I've got the hang of the camera and I've done a bit more footage with it. So yeah, that's the GoPro 7 white. I don't think it's as bad as what people are saying. I think it is a misguided review when you've got a professional photographer reviewing an entry-level camera. Anything to that guy is going to be a load of rubbish. Whereas to me, I'm not used to high-end cameras, so therefore I'm working my way up and I'm seeing the difference, and I'm seeing the difference in quality and the usability of each device that I go for. Whereas if you're a professional working your way down, you're not going to get the same take and view on that. And I think that's the problem with reviewers these days. They're coming from a quite high end background, and then they're choosing to review low end or general consumer products. They're not looking at the other high end stuff. So that's where the difference in reviews come from. I think if you had a professional photographer looking at a professional 4K ultra professional video camera, then he'd have a different take on it. Whereas if he's looking at a GoPro 7 white, to him it's not going to be any use to him. He's not going to give a genuine review. I haven't seen all the reviews on YouTube. There could be some pros that are saying it's a really good camera, but from what I've seen, and when I looked at reviews before I bought it, there was a lot of people slagging off the 7 white. And as I say, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't agree, nor do I disagree. I think it's perfect for what I want, therefore it's a perfect camera. It might not be perfect for what you want, so therefore you need to look at maybe a higher end camera, the 7 black perhaps. But I've been talking enough now. I think it is time I made the most of this sunshine and I went and flew my drone. So I will see you on the next video, where I'm going to be reviewing a GoPro gimbal. Again, I've got this because when I'm walking around it would be nice to get some clearer shots, and rather than get the DJI one, I went for this one. $79.99 on Amazon, and we're going to see how good it is when it comes to recording on the go. And that's going to be my next video. I'll probably record that one tomorrow and get it uploaded tomorrow night. Until then, I'll see you next time.